let me ask you, Mary. So we mentioned before, just in passing, all the things happening, but you got Puerto Rico and the hurricane recovery efforts there. You've
Part
got,
of our country, right?
You've got the Republican health care plan going down for a third time this week. You've got Trump losing his candidate losing in the Republican primary in Alabama.
Right.
You've got that little North Korea thing going on. Is this, I mean, when
earthquakes in
Texas,
Mexico, devastation.
Florida. He sends out his focuses on this, and everybody's attention shifts.
Right.
But what is this a strategy that he's employing, or is this just he's kind of scattered himself in what he's focused on?
Maybe a little of both. I think he does. I don't really know how he decides what he's going to tweet about on any given day. I've heard it's often what he's watching on TV. I do think that the one thing about the NFL protests is it's, he can kind of shore up his base, get people riled up about something, and then all of a sudden people forget that healthcare is failing again, and, Puerto Rico is in crisis, and, Mexican earthquake survivors are being, dug out of rubble by people with their hands. So I think that it's unfortunate that I obviously care deeply about the Packers and deeply about Aaron Rodgers, but I think there are a lot of other things that are pretty crucial that maybe people could be talking about more than whether Aaron Rodgers links arms and whether, Colin Kaepernick. And I think that, or to go back to talking about the whole reason that this started, because then it's about who's patriotic and who respects the flag and who doesn't respect the flag. And, James is right. This didn't start about not respecting the flag. This started about, African American men being shot and people feeling like they're not achieving the American dream that everyone in this country is supposed to have and have access to.
Yeah, well, looking at some of these other issues that we talked about, healthcare and hurricane recovery and so forth, how, if there was no debate right now about NFL protests, what would we be talking about? How is Trump doing on some of these major things that are on his plate right now, Trump and really Congress and other leaders?
I think he would be trying to move away from healthcare since he lost there, and he'll be focusing on the new tax law that he's trying to pass. But other than that, I mean, we still have people in Texas suffering, we still have people in Florida suffering, Puerto Rico is a mess. I mean, there's so many other things that we need to be focusing on right now. But you can always go back to that hot button issue of race. It's always going to be there. So that's your trump card that you can always go back to.
He also deleted some tweets about Luther Strange after his candidate lost. So it's interesting because he seems very reluctant to delete tweets. But in that case, I think there were some headlines about him backing a loser, and maybe that set him off. I don't know.